Okay, so good morning, students. So this is a class of Professional Practice Law and Ethics, Module 3, Lecture 3. So in Module 3, we are discussing about different approach for solving the dispute between parties associated with a particular work. Okay, so today also we are going to discuss about a particular approach which can be used, and it is very popular nowadays. It is known as ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution. It's very useful for solving the dispute between two party, or two company, or whatever you say, without involving in a legal aspect. Without involving in legal aspect. Okay, it's a outside of the legal platform. Fine. So let me start by sharing. So please respond. My screen is visible, right? Screen is visible. Okay. So here, I think you can. I guess you are seeing this title: Arbitration, Mediation, Conciliation in India. Okay. So in general, altogether, it is known as ADR. Okay. Here you can see ADR. This term, Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanism. Okay. So let's start. So arbitration, mediation, and conciliation, all these three are the main part of alternative dispute resolution mechanism. So which is generally adopted by the people to resolve their disputes in an informal manner. Okay. So there is no legal uh, term will be involved here. It's a informal manner to solve a dispute between the parties. Okay. So they try to reach a solution by settlement or negotiations with the assistance of a third neutral party, and have turned out to be an effective alternative to the litigation process. So what is the litigation process? Where the legal term is involved. Okay. So in general, what is litigation means? The process of taking legal action, like involving the court. Okay. So alternative dispute resolution, ADR, it is a perfect alternative to litigation process. So let's discuss then what is alternative dispute resolution. Okay. So when the method of resolution of the dispute chosen by these parties is other than the arbitration, which may be in the form of mediation, negotiation, or conciliation, look adalat, online arbitration, then it is alternative dispute resolution. In short, it is known as ADR. Regarding look adalat, it is a very known term, especially in India. I think you already know this term. So what is Lok Adalat? So Lok Adalat is what? Lok Adalat is a formal Indian judicial alternative dispute resolution forum. Okay. So in some exam, the definition may ask to you. Okay, you have to mark this also. So what is Lok Adalat? Lok Adalat is a formal Indian judicial alternative dispute resolution dispute resolution forum that serves to settle um, cases pending findings of a panchayat or at the pre-litigation process or pre-litigation stage in a court of law. That means before entering in a particular law or before entering in the litigation process, Lok Adalat is a initial stage where, if possible, the dispute can be solved. They try to solve the dispute between two parties at the very beginning in a Lok Adalat. If the matter is too serious and it is cannot be solved by Lok Adalat, then it will be go in a litigation process by using the legal action. Fine, but in a basics, the main purpose of Lok Adalat to release or to remove the burden of the Indian Penal Code, or the legal work. It is try to release the or remove the load from the code work. Okay. So ADR opens. So from now, I'll just use this short form ADR. Okay, of alternative dispute resolution. So ADR opens the way in the field of business and tends to solve the matter more effectively and efficiently. Okay. It is basically a dispute settlement through negotiation. It is more likely to find a solution to the dispute by negotiation between both the parties. And the purpose of ADR is more than merely giving a remedy to the parties. Okay, someone was waiting. Wait. Yeah. Okay, the purpose of ADR is more than merely giving a remedy to the parties. It aims to ensure that the contract operates properly, and arbitration is an effective mechanism of dispute resolutions. Okay, so like arbitration, other like conciliation, mediation, all these terms are related to ADR. It is alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Okay. Also, there are some difference between mediation and conciliation. We're going to discuss in coming time. Okay. So, if I get the definition of arbitration, so it is what? Arbitration is a form. It's a form of dispute resolution method. Arbitration is a form of dispute resolution method in which the parties avoid the court proceeding and instead decide to resolve their dispute through appointing a third person. Okay, and which is known as an arbitrator. Okay, so in a particular, if you are using, or if somebody using arbitration platform or arbitration form of ADR for solving a particular dispute between two parties, then a third person should be appointed, which is a neutral person, and he will be known as an arbitrator. Okay, an arbitrator is appointed in labor disputes, business and customer disputes, and family law matters also. Okay, so there are some standard definition also be there. Okay, you can also go through this. I don't want to repeat all these things again. Now, regarding history of arbitrations in India, it is, I have keep this as a homework. You just go through this history of arbitration in India. Okay, I'll just provide these notes to you. You just go through the history of arbitration method. Okay, this part I'll just leave it. But this is also important. Okay, you just go through it by yourself about history of arbitration in India. Now let's discuss about conciliation and mediation as ADR mechanism. Now, what is conciliation? So, in basic definition, what is conciliation? It is a process of stopping someone from being angry. So, it is already discussed in the last class in a very small, short definition. But here, let me give a very detailed definition here. The conciliation is what? Conciliation is a type of ADR where the settlement is made out of the court. Okay, and there is no involvement of the court in the whole arbitral proceeding. The dispute is settled by a neutral third party who is the conciliator. Now, if you are using conciliation process of ADR, then the third person, the third party which is appointed for the solving the dispute, he will be known as conciliator. Fine. The conciliation process is voluntary as it is on the mutual discretion of the parties to choose conciliation as a method of resolving their dispute with the assistance of the conciliator. Okay. So yeah, there are very basic definition here. It presides over, that is the conciliation process, it presides over litigation. That means it's have some advantage over litigation process because the parties do not have to go through the technical procedure and formalities of litigation, of course. So this is advantage of conciliation, uh, using on conciliation process as ADR mechanism over litigation process, which is a legal platform. What is the advantage of the conciliation process? The parties do not have to go through the technical procedure and formalities of litigation. Instead, conciliations allows the party for a friendly search of rich and amiable solution, that is suitable solution. Okay. So regarding adoption of conciliation of process in India, it is also I have taken as a uh, like a homework. You can take this as by self study. Okay. Adoption of conciliation process in India. It's also kind of a history. So you just go through by this. Okay. So after conciliation, let's discuss about mediation. Mediation in the form of dispute resolution mechanism. So mediation has grown as the most advanced form of ADR mechanism. It is one of the methods for handling human relationship in a positive manner, mainly for the good of the people involved and for the betterment of the community. Okay, so here you can see mediation has considered as a more advanced form of ADR mechanism. Okay, so mediation encourages a search for the solution by the parties themselves. Okay, involved in a particular dispute. The basic motive of mediation is to provide opportunities to parties to negotiate and come to a final solution catering the needs of both sides. Fine. So we are also going to discuss about difference between mediation and conciliation. So it's look like similar. The conciliation process of ADR or mediation process of ADR, it is look like similar because similarity is what in both cases a third neutral person will be appointed, person or a committee will be appointed for the resolve to resolve the dispute. Okay, but where is the difference between mediation and conciliation? So we're going to discuss about that also. But before that, let's finish this. So role of mediator. So mediation process, the third party or third person which is appointed, it, he will be known as mediator. Fine. Okay. So the role of mediator is only to assist the party. He does not have to decide who is right or wrong, and also does not have authority to impose a settlement on the parties. If you can listen carefully, you can automatically find out the difference between mediation and conciliation process of ADR. Okay. Okay, you can also go through these things. Okay, I don't want to go again this thing. Here are some important terms like it is often said that mediation is the best way of imparting justice through self mediation of the parties. Mediator empowers the parties to communicate and decide the outcome of their own by providing various options suitable as per the dispute and has to think of alternative solution favoring a mix of benefit of both the parties. Okay. in general or in brief, mediation is all about facilitating or assisting negotiation between the parties. It works between the parties because it gives chance to the parties to come to a settlement where both parties do not have to compromise their rights. Instead, leads to a better solution. So it maybe give you some confusion. Okay, before that, I'll just give you some difference between mediation and conciliation. Okay, now listen carefully. So mediation and conciliation both two methods of conflicts resolutions in which third party is involved. This is a similarity between mediation and conciliation. Okay, so in mediation and conciliation are two methods of conflict resolution in which a third party is involved. His role varies from one method to another. That means the role of that particular third party will be different depending on the platform, whether it is mediation or conciliation. Fine. That means his role varies from one method to another. Unlike the conciliator, who has an active role in the conciliation process. That means, in case of conciliation, a third party or third person, he can propose a solution. He can propose a solution to end the conflict. Okay. So I will repeat again. Unlike the conciliator, who has an active role in the conciliation process, the mediator assists the parties throughout the mediation process to help them to find a solution to their dispute by themselves. Okay, that means now you can see the difference between mediation and conciliation. The mediator, what is the main purpose of mediator? Mediator gives a freedom to the both parties to decide by themselves, to solve the resolution themselves. Okay, but conciliation or a conciliator can propose a solution to end the conflict. Okay, fine. There is a basic, very thin difference between mediator and conciliator. Mediation and conciliation refer to the dispute resolution process in which two or more parties attempt to reach an amicable agreement with the help of a third party. This is a common thing between mediation and conciliation. Fine. So I think yeah, this is already clear to you about role of mediator. Also, it is okay. It is already discussed to you, I guess. Okay. Okay. Next, what we have. So regarding role of mediator, you can also go through this. Okay. Not all these things are necessary. Okay. Just simple things are necessary. How mediation is helpful for court. This thing also you can go through this one time. So let's discuss about this. Why is ADR preferred over litigation in general? So ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, is preferred more than litigation process or legal process. Okay. So ADR has gained a rapid popularity over the years. The business disputes are resolved more by the arbitration process than the litigation. The reason for acceptance of arbitrations over litigation is due to the reasons are given below. The reasons are the main advantage of arbitrations over litigation process are given here. So arbitration is more cost effective. The cost of the process involved in the dispute is much less than the cost involved in the litigation. The cost is the almost, of course, it will be the important factor. Next, the process is more informal as compared to the litigation process, so there are no lengthy procedure as that is present in the court. Next, number 3, ADR process is flexible. The parties can withdraw their case anytime they want. which is not possible in the court process. Okay. Next, number 4, this dispute is resolved more quickly with the assistance of a third person who advise the parties according to their needs and suitability. This is not the same in the case of the court process. The judge do not give judgment according to the suitability of the parties. This is very basic difference. Okay, so like this, different uh, points are you can see here. Okay, you can understand by reading only. So you just go through this, the difference or advantage of ADR over litigation process. Up to 8 points are given here. You just go through this 8 point. Okay. Now, how arbitration, mediation, conciliations are different from each other. So I guess I already discussed about the difference between mediation and conciliation. So anyway, let's see what is there in these notes. So mediation and conciliation process both are an informal process, whereas arbitration is more formal as compared to them. In mediation, the mediator generally sets out alternatives for the parties to reach out an agreement. The main advantage of the mediation is that the settlement is made by the parties themselves rather than a third party. Okay, so we are talking about mediator. It is not legally binding on this party. It is not legally binding on the parties. Arbitration is a process where the parties submit their case to a neutral third party who, on the basis of the decision, determines the dispute and comes to a solution. So this is almost, we are coming to the end of the class. Okay. So at finally, we want to conclude the class. Here some conclusions are there. Let me read out for you. So arbitration, mediation and conciliation are considered as the main alternative dispute resolution mechanism to litigation. Business people prefer this mechanism more convenient because it does not require a lot of lengthy procedure like courts. Here, dispute resolutions is more informal as compared to litigation in court. Over the recent years, they have turned out to be more effective than the litigation process. Access to justice is there without the involvement of the court. Parties are more comfortable as they can freely express their own views, needs and interests. So yeah, I think from this statement, I think you can understand that there are more advantages of adoption of ADR process over litigation process. It's more flexible, cost effective, okay, informal. There is also freedom of speech. They can choose they can state their, or they can express their feeling or their needs in front of a third party, whether it is conciliator or mediator. Okay, so here this is a more popular term, ADR, so you should know about this ADR term. So we have come to the end of the class. This is all about ADR. So you just go through these notes. Okay, it maybe look like lengthy, but if you go through reading one time, it will be understood. Okay, so here I want to close my slide. Sir, can I know what is the use of the subject in civil engineering? It's very, still you are confused here. See, in general, I just want to tell you, you may feel like it is no need for now, but in future, I'm talking about this subject. It is not for this fifth semester. This subject, it is not a kind of subject. It's like called a ideology. Okay, this professional practice, professional ethics, this should be with you even after the college life. Okay, so you can also argue with the government why they have introduced this new subject to you, because it is a very new subject, because your senior doesn't get this professional practice or professional ethics this subject. Okay, but why this come to we have come to this point that we have to we now we require this particular subject in this college level, because nowadays, um, due to the development or growing the development, we are losing the ethics from our side. We are talking about personal ethics, we are talking about professional ethics, even we are talking about professional practice also. Okay, so this term is very useful, or it may be useful even in your future. Okay, because you are advancedly you're knowing about professional practice, you are knowing about professional ethics, you are knowing about different law, different legal aspects. Okay, if you are going to start your company own by in a coming future, it will be very easy for you. At least you know what is the procedure. At least you will if you heard this term ADR in future, you will not be known. But now you know what is ADR. It is alternative dispute resolution. How to solve your conflict between other party without going to the court. Okay, this is a main scenario. It's going on. It's an international term, or everybody is using that. So as a student, maybe it is not that uh, uh, that not necessary for you. But as an engineer, if you are going to be an engineer in a coming future, I'm talking about not engineer. I'm talking about professional engineer, which have a professional ethics. Then you should carry this thoughts, this philosophy, or this professional ethics and professional practice, all these things with you. Okay, then only you can grow, and along with your grow, the environment or this particular our country or your state will grow by with your group. Okay. Okay, I'll share the group. I'll share the notes. Okay, fine. I'll just share the notes to you. Don't worry. So here I just want to stop my recording.